o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Our first item is our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Vice Chair, could you please read our mission statement?
Marshall Public Schools develops the potential of each learner for success in a changing world.
Thank you. Need approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any additions? Hearing none, please vote. It is approved. Public forum, anybody in the public, would you like to approach the board? Now is your time. Our first and only presentation, Jeremy Williams.
Jeremy, do you want to add, we had expected Michelle and Jackie to be here. I think they're finishing up an IEP meeting. Do you want to start, Jeremy, or do you want to, if the board is willing to do so, go on to a couple other things and then come back?
I can go either way, it doesn't matter.
Let's have you go. Please.
Welcome.
Thank you. Just means you get the sped version from me, but
I think anybody will complain.
we just wanted to give you an update of what's going on for those different summer programs this summer and some of the changes with the construction at the middle school, a lot of changes in sites and that kind of thing this summer. So Tricia has it up on the board. The first program we had up to talk about was the extended school year. This is the special ed summer school program, and we put the explanation of what it is. School districts required to provide ESY services. It's through the IEP team, so through the special ed process, and they have to have during a break in instruction, show regression in services, show a regression in learning in order to qualify for it, and able to qualify during the different ways that Jackie had listed: regression, recoupment, self-sufficiency, and unique need. So like I said, it's all through the IEP process. It has to have to meet criteria to attend that one. And 3-year transition. Jackie was going to talk about that. I can't speak to that. I don't know what that one is. It's June 14th through July 21st. They meet Tuesdays through Thursdays from 8:30 to 11:30, and it's pre-K through age 21. And this classes are taking place at both Parkside and at the high school this summer. She was going to get average numbers for you. I don't have those.
You could make them up.
I could. Lots of kids. I could. Sorry about that. I can talk about Jumpstart, though. Jumpstart is a targeted services program. That's the one that I've been a part of for the past maybe 10 years. I've been a part of that program. It's a continuation of our Project Success program that runs after school. So this is the one that's for at-risk students. This summer we're doing something a little bit different with it. In the past we've run an EL session and a separate Jumpstart session. This year we're running 2 Jumpstart sessions. So what that does is it opens both sessions to any student. So any student can sign up for either program or for both programs. Idea of getting more students involved in the program. So certainly EL students are still a big part of that program, but it's not a separate session specific for EL is the biggest change. And then it's at Parkside this year, which is different as well.
When you say 2 sessions, Jeremy, what are the times, or how does that work?
Yep, that's another slide here.
Okay.
Yep, there's a June session, July session, 2 different 3-week periods. June 26th, or 6th to 23rd, and July 11th through 28th. Both of them are Mondays through Thursdays. We have 8:30, 11:30 up here. There's a breakfast and a lunch. So the breakfast program and lunch program are part of the program, part of it too. So they're really here from 8 until noon, the half hour for each. And we grades 1 through 8 on that one. So they have to have at least completed kindergarten. And then the 8th graders going into 9th grade are part of the Maytech program. So they'd be going into 8th grade would be the oldest that are part of Jumpstart, and that's through state statute who qualifies for that program. And taking place at Parkside this year, so that's a big change for us in a different site and everything with that. Another big change with that this year is we're doing co-coordinators. I've kind of overseen the program for the past few years. Like I said, Emily Noose had coordinated, so she was the on-site person the last couple of years, and this year she stepped down, so Gail Chandler and Sue Strout stepped up and are working together on that. So trying to do some more things with curriculum, really working a lot on what we're providing for curriculum with kids. Looking at some online resources that we've added. A program called Moby Max is a big change for this year for us. So more targeted individual needs there. Another part of the Jumpstart program is a continual learning plan. So each student coming in the program has a learning plan this year's teacher writes a plan saying here are the needs a student has, so the teacher getting from summer knows specifically what they need to work on. Our focus is really reading and math. We also do some science and social studies courses with the middle school age students. And social emotional skills is another part of the program. That's a required part from the state that we offer a social emotional skills piece. So our librarians are working part of that this year. We're going to do some library skills and peer interaction classes, that kind of thing. We've been 100 to 130 students per session over the last couple of years. I looked this afternoon and I was at 144 currently registered for the program. So our numbers are up, which means probably the next board meeting we'll be asking for additional staff for that program, because we want, big part of it is to keep class sizes small. We want to keep classes around 10, and 7th and 8th grade right now are exploding. We got a lot of students signed up, so we're going to need to add some staff there to keep those class sizes small and make the program meet the needs that we want it to meet.
How is it finding staff? Is it hard to fill the spots?
The last couple spots I'm having a hard time finding people for. The first few spots were filled quicker than I've ever had them fill this year. So I think the long summers may be part of that.
Is it possible to work with SMSU with their education department on some internships and things like that? Or
We can talk with them. Part of it is we have to have a licensed teacher in the class, though.
Oh.
So part of we've had some of those people contact us, and they can help in like para or classroom helper kind of things. We have to have a licensed teacher to run the class. So Maytech is the other one. Michelle was going to talk to you about that one a little bit. That's the credit recovery program. This year they're moving out to the high school because of space needs as well. They were not having room for all the kids that they've had sign up, so they're moving out to the high school this year. So then with ESY out there too, it works well. They can be, we'd still be at 2 sites, just 2 different sites than what we've been at in the past. This is Jumpstart, so that's where the Jumpstart students, that 8th going into 9th grade, middle school targets kids that would qualify for that program, and they'll be part of the Maytech program too, so they'll be at the high school this year. They are meeting from June 1st to June 30th, so they meet Monday through Friday. They're 5 days a week. From 8 to 11 is the morning session, and then they have a lunch and an afternoon session. Students earn credit for each session. There's actually a credit earning program at this one, so credit recovery. Go to the next slide. So making up full credit, so if they go the whole day, they get a full credit. For each half day, they get a half credit. They can attend one or both, and they have
is that study skills, not study kills?
study skills. Yes, study kills would be much more interesting. No. Study skills is a big part of what they've done there. They use the online program for part of it as well. And then she talks about moving to high school. So study kills, I don't know what that would be.
They study kills for success.
I read it and I thought, well, okay.
And then the breakfast lunch, that's the free breakfast and lunch that we've done the past 3-4 years we've had that. So that's free for all students. Taher prepares it and is open to community as well. So it's during the sessions we feed the kids, it's just for the kids, and then there's time after that it opens up to the community. You can come in, open everybody to come. So we're really hoping that with that being at Parkside this year, being right across from the park, maybe we can get more kids to draw in for that too. We haven't had a big turnout in the past of community coming for it, but hoping this year we can get some more involved.
We have,
They get fed at the high school too, right?
Right,
Yeah,
both sites.
Both
Yep.
locations.
so do we have any issues with transportation? Do we run any buses for,
We run buses in town
okay,
for the sessions.
so
Yeah.
just like normal?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they don't run out in the country like they do during the school year, but yeah, just like our after-school program.
That should be a good opportunity for some of the students who are out at the high school for a variety of activities to get that lunch as well, which I don't believe we've had before. If we
Correct.
can time that correctly, and that'd be good. You always get kids in camps or games or whatever, and it seems like that's a pretty busy place in the summertime, so hopefully we can get that word out.
Right. Good. That's what we had, I believe. Any other questions you guys have? Sorry.
You feel like we're being comprehensive, Jeremy, in terms of what we're providing for kids in extended opportunities, if you will? What are your thoughts on that?
I think we are. I met with Tina Quinones last week about this a little bit. One of the spots that we don't hit is these are all you qualify by need. You know, the ESY, you need to have an IEP, you need to meet qualifications to come. The targeted services, you have to have a teacher referral to come. And the Maytech, it's credit recovery. But we also have kids that just, they have just the need to be someplace during the summer. They don't qualify for one of our programs. And she was saying with the community services, there's always a fee attached to some of those. She says, well, what do we do with some of these kids? Can't they just come to this? And we don't probably have that spot filled. Does that make sense?
it does. Is there a way we can be creative with targeted services funding through the summer to do, not because they have to meet one of those needs?
Right, there's set of
Okay.
criteria you have to meet to do
Criteria.
that. So if they're not meeting that at-risk criteria, they don't qualify for that program, so.
And Community Services does have a long list of opportunities, but they're fee-based.
But they're all fee-based, and there's students that's a challenge for them, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So now Jackie and Michelle are here to answer your SPED and Maytech questions.
Boy, you talked through that. Good job.
I did.
Okay, we're good.
I couldn't explain the 3-year transition. I didn't know what that was.
Okay. Do you guys have questions about anything on this slide about extended school year? Basically, they have to not be making adequate progress in order to be considered eligible. The 3-year-old transition that he was talking about, birth to 3.
3-year-old.
Yeah. Birth to 3, we're required to provide those services throughout the entire calendar year, not just through the school year. And so for those children who turn 3 over the summer, what we do is we've built in an extended year program for them so that instead of them just continuing to receive services in the home, we bring them into the preschool setting and allow them to start to have that exposure to the classroom, to the tables and chairs and the structure that goes with the school day, so that it's not quite such a big deal for them when they come in the fall for their full programming. You probably didn't have the numbers.
Karen said I could make them up, so.
Yeah.
We did 75.
Nope, it's not that many.
I didn't give that, I just.
Last year we had 6 students that were our transition 3-year-olds, 5 that came just on Tuesday, Thursday, and then 28 that came all 3 days. And so we can't say that we just offer this one program and that's all that we offer for everybody. We have to have the flexibility within what we're offering to meet the wide range of needs. So.
How many total special education students?
During ESY, it would be 39. So, and that's down just because we've done a better job of really using the data to determine who's eligible and who's not, rather than just get
And some of those students that aren't eligible for ESY are now attending the Jump Start program.
Yep.
Probably didn't qualify for ESY before, but understanding that better.
Jackie, how does funding work for ESY?
There really isn't additional funding. I mean, we can submit those salaries and things back for reimbursement, but it's not as though the state says, well, here's your pot of money for extended school year. We still have our same pot of money that we're going to draw from. And then cross-subsidize when that pot of money's gone.
But for EL and Jumpstart, we do get funded through targeted services.
Right, it's funded based on number of hours students attend, so.
And with the summer food service program, we do get reimbursed for that program.
And so you went through this?
I did,
Do
yeah.
you have specific questions on that?
I know more about yours.
Oh, yeah.
How many students do you anticipate, Michelle?
Well, right now, so last year we had 130 students, so you have some perspective. Right now, we already have 109 students that are fully registered. We have an additional 42 high school students that have been recommended but haven't registered yet. We have 22 incoming 8th into 9th grade students that have been recommended that haven't registered yet. And then those numbers do not, and we have 109 total, did I say, that we have registered? And so those numbers do not include any of the students who have failed a second semester course, since we haven't finished that yet. And so those come towards the very end of the school year. And so the news is that there are high numbers there as well. So
This is strictly credit recovery.
It
these kids.
used to be strictly credit recovery, and the 8th graders that were going into 9th grade used to be a part of the K-8, K-9 program. And we've moved them up to the 9th grade, or to the alternative school, so that they get more intensive preparation for their high school. And so half of their summer school experience, which is 22 days of 6 hours, rather than the 12 days of 3 hours a day with the summer school program, they're getting half a day, 3 hours a day of study skills that you'll need for success in high school, and then the other half they're getting an elective that they can choose, either keyboarding or PE. And so that elective is one that's required for graduation. So those students who have typically been at risk when they go into high school will start off their high school career with 1 credit under their belt. And so they'll have one required course, half of a credit in a required elective, or a required course, and then half of an elective credit done. So they're starting off ahead of the game, kind of get to boost their sense of accomplishment and create some of that success as they go into their high school year.
Any other questions?
You're gonna be able to fill all the positions, you think, for teachers?
I think we will.
Pretty confident?
Yeah.
What about, I mean, yours is all base need too, right? So what about the kid that's right on the line, the borderline?
Well,
that
once under
wants to
credit
go.
recovery, we fill up. And we are always full. And
Okay.
sometimes we have kids who are there that don't want to be there. They have to be there in order to graduate. So we have some kids that this is the last course they need to take before they can graduate. That's why we have that summer graduation. Some we have had times where kids have said, oh, I want to get ahead. But if we're full, and it's not often, but if there's room, and then we've allowed that. We've had kids who've had to, for example, last summer we had a girl that came from another school district and missed a required course that she needed for the grade level that she was at. She was basically on track, but then she was done, and we had other courses that we offered through Edgenuity, and so we allowed her to take those. They were elective classes, and so she did that.
And any ideas why the increase in numbers that we have to,
I
just
think
the way it is?
Yeah, and it fluctuates. There are some years where it goes down, but I think it can be that because we also get students that come from other school districts, and so that also bumps our numbers up, and especially if they're close to us, we get those kids. There's never when I was doing the K through 8, 1 year, 1 grade would be, whoa, did the whole grade fail? And then sometimes it'd be nobody from that particular grade. So there isn't any one predictor of why we're getting so many. I can say, I think one of the things that has made a difference is that we have a lot of, with Brian's every 3 weeks, the kids, the parents, everybody's aware of where their kids are at. And it's not like at the last minute, oh, I need this summer school. That's why we have 109 already registered ahead of time. We usually don't have that many by this time, so that's nice. Another thing is that I think with the career and college readiness, people are thinking more broadly than just their diploma. It's like, what do I need to prepare? And so they're looking at the big picture and where are they in that lineup of what they have planned for themselves next. And so I think that's part of why we're seeing some of the increase.
And some of it's also just our student enrollment's up.
Yep.
So more kids enrolled means more kids in the summer program.
Board, any other questions? Thank you for your time and your efforts.
Thank you.
Board forum, anybody in the board have anything they'd like to highlight or bring up? Important dates to remember. Anybody have any questions on those?
See, the signs are out and about on the referendum
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that's good, yeah. Referendum update.
Well, Karen just said it all.
Sorry.
I really liked the last flyer that came out, the newspaper one. I thought it was very thorough, very nice.
A lot of confidence on that.
Bruce and Tricia and others took the lead on that and did a really nice job, I think, getting information out and including the frequently asked questions that we seem to get most often, and it was a very informative piece and great timing of it as well. So.
I had a friend at church that just moved here from Rockford, Illinois, which is a huge city, a couple years ago, and they had a referendum. They never got any information. He was pretty interested in all the stuff.
Good.
We still have a reminder postcard that's coming out End of this week? Probably tomorrow.
Great. Any questions on the second reading of the policies 614 through 616? Moving on to our action items, approval of our joint powers agreement with the City of Marshall. Do we have a motion? And I'll second. Open for discussion.
I just had one question. When some of the, like the hockey, the separate agreements come through, will they try and have that annually when we approve it?
Yes.
So we won't see something come mid-year, most likely.
Well, if something does get negotiated for mid-year, it'll probably be a separate arrangement for the board to take action. But we would probably try to condense those all into our annual approval of the joint powers.
Any other questions? Hearing none, let's vote. It is approved.
And that's just another, I think, example of the partnerships that we have in place with different organizations in the community and how that hopefully is beneficial to everyone involved. I think it's been a good partnership and looking forward to that continuing.
So this will get moved forward to the city council for approval at their next meeting.
Very good. Moving on to our action items, moving to close the meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Meeting's now closed. Approval of the exclusion resolution. Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Mine still shows expulsion, is that,
Mine says exclusion.
Rejoin the meeting.
The document.
there's exclusion there, okay. I did rejoin. All right,
I made a motion to approve it. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Open for further discussion. Hearing none, please vote. Okay. Motion passes. Anything else for the good of the cause? Meeting's over.